Hey, what's going on, gentlemen and awesomes? This is Mike Kollin at seductionpower.com. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the reticulating activating system. It's a segment or a section of your brain that can either get you stuck in a bad place or it can get you stuck in a really good place where you're getting what you want out of life. One of the first things you learn in psychology class, Psychology 101, maybe not the very first thing, but it's fairly soon. It might even be in the first chapter, but it's one of the first things you learn within a week or a couple of weeks is how the brain, it deletes, distorts, and generalizes. Now, one of the things that I do in my channels, it's something I learned from NLP, is I do my best not to use these big psychology, analytical, scientific terms. One thing we learned in NLP is that one of the reasons why psychologists were not reaching their clients and helping them was they were using these terms that, and unless you get your master's degree or doctorate degree in psychology, you're just kind of looking at them like, what are they talking about? Because psychology has a bunch of terms and definitions that the majority of people, if you haven't taken at least 6 or 7 or 8 psychology classes, you wouldn't have a clue what the hell they mean. So one of the premises or presuppositions in NLP is we want to speak on an everyday level, like literally like speak as if you're speaking to like a kindergartner or you know, like a dog. Like, so it's so simple anyone can understand it, regardless of your field. Just like a dentist, if he spoke to me using those terms, I'd be like, the hell is this guy talking about? But today I'm going to use a big word. Now, the reason why your brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes is because we have a ton, hundreds of thousands of bits of information coming at us at any moment in time. So the big word is stimuli or stimulus, and it can overwhelm us with too much stimuli. From radio waves to people talking in the other room, people talking behind you, you know, like words on the walls, you know, you've got advertisements, you know, posters, and it's not that, but you got the temperature change, the temperature shift, the movement of the earth. Your body actually picks up on all these things on an unconscious level. If you were aware of all these things consciously, you would literally have a nervous breakdown. You would have a complete and total breakdown. You would not be able to function at all. So what it does, it deletes a lot of information that's incoming into your nervous system, like through like the temperature change down at your ankles versus the temperature change up by your shoulders, you know, the lighting change on the left side versus the right side. Like, your brain is constantly adapting to all of this stuff. So it deletes out a lot of information. So what it leaves you with is what we call 7 plus or minus 2 bits of information. So that 7 plus 2 is 9 bits of information. 7 minus 2 is 5. So the average person can handle comfortably between 5 and 9 bits of information at a time. So generally, you can have a conversation with one person while noticing how your stomach feels. And, you know, maybe there's some music going on in the background or whatever. So you can handle a certain amount of information comfortably and understand it. So the challenge is to not generalize every woman into the same category. Now, I know it's kind of funny because you're like, well, wait a minute, didn't you just tell me that we have a system in our brain that literally deletes, distorts, and generalizes? Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. I'm not saying that it's easy, but you do have to challenge yourself constantly because, okay, on a lot of these YouTube channels, you'll hear these men that are heartbroken, and you've been broken, you've been ripped off, you've been just screwed the fuck over, and not a part of it. It's really the real reason why this happens. In the Western societies, we allow it. We're just like, well, women are on a free-for-all right now because we don't do anything about it. So it is rampant right now, but the pendulum is swinging back for sure. It is definitely swinging back. Now, regardless of whether it's swinging back or not, the thing is this: you will completely screw yourself over if you get caught up in this negative generalization, because I'm going to go into the reticulating activating system in a second, because this isn't, see, you think this is just about women. You're going to realize, like, holy shit, I do that with my workouts, or man, I've been doing this, sabotaging myself when it comes to losing weight or, you know, gaining more muscle. I've been convincing myself that I can't because of this generalization. So this is It's funny because even though you're studying, like listening to my channel about women, how to understand women, it's really understanding yourself and human behavior and our neurology and how we get screwed over by the way we're designed. What I'm showing you is there's a way out of all of this. We can actually use these same systems to our benefit. So in a lot of these YouTube channels that are generally positive, saying like one saying, hey men, when a younger woman is asking you this, she's actually flirting with you. She's opening a door saying, hey, I like you, but a lot of men don't see that. So then you get in the chat box, all these men, oh, I'm 60 years old, I was married for 35 years, that woman was a battle axe, and she probably was. I'm not denying that at all. The challenge is, so let me get this right. So you had one marriage for 35 years, and she was mean to you. So now you're saying that all women are that way? No, one woman, one count. She counts for one, does not count for 4.2 billion women. It does not mean that. And that's the challenge, guys. Okay, one day, here's what I realized. I live in the Bay Area. So San Jose is about, I would say, an hour drive south of me, maybe a little bit less, okay, especially without traffic. And so then you go east and you've got Oakland, Walnut Creek, Emeryville, Pleasanton, Pleasantville, and all these other Concord, and then you go north a little bit, and that's the Bay Area. Well, I forget how many million of people are in this area. And then I dwindled it down to about 51, 52% of that is women. I'm like, shit, so that's man, I forget the number. Hold on, let me Google it. So it's approximately 8 million people, okay? In a very short, like 45-minute to an hour drive either way, okay? So I'm surrounded by women. So you cut that in half, you got 4.2 million of these people are women. So then you cut that in half, and now you've got single women, so that's 2.1. Okay, so let's say it's a little bit less, but I think it is about 50%. The Bay Area is known for its singles culture. There's a lot of single people in the Bay Area. So then let's say half of them, this is a overly, I should say 25% of that is women that are in a serious relationship, and then a certain percent of that, let's say they're lesbian and gay. And so now you're down to, actually I just lost my number, damn it. I think we're down to 1.5 million women that are available. Dude, that's a lot of fucking women. You will never date that many women in 10 lifetimes, 100, well maybe 100, I don't know, not even 100 lifetimes. And all of a sudden I realized the abundance that I was living in just right here in my immediate backyard. That completely shifted my mind to going, because see, okay, I used to come from this what do they call it? There's abundance mentality, then there's a lack mentality. I felt so desperate. So I used to focus on the one girl that was talking to me and blah blah blah, and she would treat me like shit and all this stuff. And when I finally stopped and go, wait a minute, right here in this immediate area, there's millions of women that are fucking completely single. I'm like, what the hell am I so stressed about this one girl for? And then I realized the world population is over 8 billion people now. And I'm like, that's over 4-point-something billion women on the planet. And so when we sit there and try to generalize and say all women are this way, it's just not true. Now let me show you something about the reticulating activating system. So here's my purpose in sharing this stuff with you. It starts to empower you. It starts to make you go, wait a minute, I'm actually not as desperate as I thought I was. Okay, let me tell you one thing that I learned. I was going to clubs for a long time. Now, when I was younger, I didn't like clubs because my mom and dad owned 2 restaurants and 2 bars, and there was always drugs and alcoholics and drugs and the cops and people getting arrested and yelling and screaming. And I was like, fuck that. I will never fucking drink. I did drink a little bit in high school, but I really, for the most part, just was not a drinker. And by the time I got to college, I didn't drink at all. I just didn't want to be around drugs or alcohol at the party scene. To me, that was a nightmare. So I was a late bloomer. I really didn't start going to clubs until I was about 27, 20 years old, and I hated it. I felt so uncomfortable. I didn't, my girlfriend could just talk to anyone, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be around these people. And half of them are doing cocaine or some kind of drug, and were drunk out of their ass. And I'm like, how is this fun? I didn't get it. But then, as we went into the 2000s, about 2008, 2010, all of a sudden, the clubs started to turning into what they call lounges, where it wasn't about getting drunk off your ass. And now here's the thing about the Matrix: if you got caught doing drugs or cocaine in the bathroom or anything, they would literally kick you out, and they would watch your behavior. I remember the manager go, "That guy's on cocaine. Look at his eyes," and he'd get the bouncer, "Hey, tell that guy that he's 86 for 30 days, and if he does it again, he's gone for life." So I really liked this club because it was essentially, I'm not saying nobody did drugs there, but you didn't see it. You didn't notice it, and when you did, they got right on top of it. So all of a sudden, I started to go to clubs. I was starting to figure it out. Now, here's what happened. So being trained in NLP, we learn a lot of things on how to learn stuff. There's something called modeling. We learn to watch people's unconscious behavior, their unconscious communication, their unconscious eye patterns, body language, and we start to learn like what they're doing. Like, why is this guy so successful with women, or why is this guy so comfortable meeting other people? So you start learning. It's like, oh shit, I see what he's doing. So I began to develop this. Now here's something that happened. I forced myself to go to clubs. I think it was 5 nights a week for 2 years, whether it was a local bar, even if I just went like 3 blocks away, I just forced myself to go to this trashy bar. Like I had to be there for at least an hour. That was the rule. You had to go to some kind of place, event, party, club, lounge, something for, I think minimum was an hour, even if I was super tired. Maybe I'll get to that in another video, but man, did I learn something when I was extremely tired that shifted everything. So I was at the Matrix one night, and this really, really beautiful girl, and also really kind. She was she was a good person, had an education, she had a master's degree. She was talking to me, she was my type, she was just, everything was so nice. I was 34, maybe a little bit older, I don't remember how old I was, and she was probably around 26, 24, something like that. And I just realized I was working to make the conversation work. And here's the deal. Because I've been going to clubs every night for 2 years, I was like, I just can't do this shit anymore. I was so fucking tired of line number 1, opener number 2, NLP technique number 36. And I was fuck. And I realized, like, what? I can't do this anymore. I'm so fucking done trying to do this. Like, fuck it. And I said, I go, I am so sorry for what I'm about to say. She's like, well, what's that? I go, you are the most beautiful girl in the club right now. You're probably the most beautiful girl I've seen in my life. I go, but I'm not feeling anything. I'm not feeling a connection. I feel like I'm working to make this conversation work. And I can't do this anymore. I am so sorry, but if you want to be friends or this, whatever. I go, but I think I'm going to be wasting your time and, giving you false hopes down the road. And she literally goes, thank you for saying that. Because I've actually been in relationships for a year or more with guys who were literally just saying what they thought I wanted to hear. And I never got to know them, but it took me a year to finally figure out that this was a mask they were wearing. It wasn't who they really were. They were trying to say the right thing, blah, blah, blah. So she just hugged me and said, you know what? Here's my number. She goes, we can hang out anytime you want. So literally, she walks away, and I turn my back. I turn around, in other words, and bam, this girl bumps into me kind of fucking hard. And I turned around, and she's all gritting and shit. I'm like, she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't look where I was going, or something like that. And like, yeah, I get, because here I was in a state of I didn't give a fuck. I said, yeah, I get it. You accidentally on purpose bumped into me to start a conversation because you like me and you're attracted to me. Like, trust me, I've been around. I get it. So we laughed, and it was a really fun thing. And she laughed, I laughed, and we just started talking. We're laughing, we're goofing around. And the thing about it was about 45 minutes passed by, and I was like, wait a minute. I didn't use one opener or one line. I didn't... What's the other word I'm going to say? I didn't try to make the conversation work. I go, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is how you know when you meet someone that you're supposed to spend time with, because you don't have to work at it. You don't have to memorize something. You don't have to go, what am I supposed to say now? She said this. What does she want to hear? Like, all that fucking thinking, I couldn't stand it. So here I am talking to this girl, because I was in an I don't give a shit mode, and I am not going to try to make a conversation work anymore. It just flowed. It was like 45 minutes into it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So this is the way it's supposed to be. And if you're working at it, that's how you know, like, hey, this isn't the person you're supposed to talk to. But Mike, she's got nice boobies. So what? It's going to be a pain in the ass. Trust me. So, reticulating activating system. Now watch this. It can screw you or it can benefit you. especially when it comes to vagina. Okay, sorry, just goofing around. So, all right, I got this car back when I was about 20. God, how old was I? I think I was 20 years old, and it was my friend's, actually my brother-in-law's mom's. This was a baby. It was an anniversary edition 280ZX. It had all the. Actually, you know what? I have a picture of it. Hold on. This is the exact car. Now this isn't a picture of my car, but it's the exact car, same color, same rims, and this is what it looked like when I got it. So I got it when it was about, I think, 6 or 8 years old. I forget how old it was, but it only had, I think it was 54,000 miles on it. It was babied, brand new tires, brand new this. Here's the deal. It was always garaged. It never spent more than an hour in the sun. In other words, if she went to the mall to go shopping and she knew she was going to be there more than an hour, they took the truck. This car was never left outside. The only people that touched it were the exact same mechanics that were there when she bought it. She always took it to the dealership. She had every record, everything. The oil was always changed on time. And she literally handed me this like a bound book thing. And it showed every oil change, every frickin' everything. So here I am thinking, dude, and I got a phenomenal deal. Here's why. The dad, he was pissed off because the dealership wouldn't give him a decent, they wouldn't give him a decent trade-in. So he gave it to me for the amount they were going to trade it. And I think it was like what was it? It was super low. It was ridiculously low. I think it was like $2,800, and he just wanted to give it to someone who'd appreciate it. And he goes, Michael, you need a break. And he goes, I'm going to give it to you the exact amount that they offered. And I was like, that's all they offered you? He's like, yeah. And he was fucking pissed. So I'm sitting there going, hell yeah, dude. I got this cool ass car. It's in perfect condition, air conditioning, leather seats, anniversary edition. And I'm thinking, I'm the only one in town. Now, the city I lived in was about, I think it was 50,000 or 45,000 people at the time. And I'm like, I'm the only guy in town that even has a 280ZX. Because I'd never seen these cars before. Any kind, none of them. Any year, any model. So I'm driving around thinking I'm a badass, cool dude, got the only 280ZX in town. And then I saw like an older version, an older model, and it was kind of run down. It was like they painted it orange. It looked like shit. And I was like, wait, I thought I was really, guess not. Fuck, okay. And then about a week later, I saw another one. And then 2 days later, I saw another one that was pretty nice. It wasn't as nice as mine, but it was pretty nice. And then I saw another one. And then I saw another one. I went to my brother-in-law, like, what the fuck, dude? I thought, he goes, you thought, I go, yeah. I go, I thought I was the only one in town with a 280ZX. He goes, Michael, they're everywhere. This was one of the most popular cars in the 80s. Because we were in the 90s. He goes, in the mid 80s and going into the 90s. And I was like, well, yeah, I know people liked them, but I didn't think there was any in town. So now I'm feeling less cool. Or less whatever. And so then I saw another one, the same car, same year, same model, but it was not as good looking as mine. It was obviously run down, had some scratches, the paint was faded, the tires were fucking messed up, the rims were messed up. Now here's the deal, the rims were perfect on this car, everything, not a scratch. So then I get on the freeway to go to San Francisco, and I saw like 3 of them on 1 hour trip to San Francisco. I was like, well, what the fuck? And then I'm in the city, I saw 2 more, and I'm like, wah. And so here's the deal. That's your reticulating activating system in action. Once you see something, or once you do something new, or that's really like kind of like, wow, you see it everywhere. This also works for negative experiences, such as dealing with a narcissist abuse, where the gang's stalking you, all these fucked up things, and you get terrified of, to the point where any little thing, the way someone looks at you, like, oh, so you pick up on all this stuff, and then when you finally wake up to it, you see them everywhere, like, holy shit, and it freaks you the fuck out. So this also works when you are married to a woman who's been a battle axe. So all of a sudden, okay, when you were younger, when you were like a teenage boy, maybe even 8 years old. I remember when I was about 8 years old, I think I was actually 6.5. And then there was this babysitter we had, and she had a boyfriend. And I remember we went to the park, all 3 of us were by the water. And, they were kind of off doing their picnic thing, and I was a little bit away, and I finally walked up and go, you guys should get married, and so everything was wonderful and loving, and I just thought everyone should get married, and women are so beautiful, and they're so nice, and I really did think that women were nothing but cinnamon, spice, and everything nice, whatever that. Girls are made of cinnamon, spice, and sugar, and I forget what else, white I don't know, white fucking whipped cream. But the point being is, like, I really thought women were just these perfect angels, these beautiful beings. So here I was in high school. I got into a relationship with this girl, and she treated me like shit. But man, I was so in love. My reticulating activating just said, "Oh, she's so beautiful," And she could treat me like shit. And here's the thing: I didn't notice it for the first. I would say the first year we were actually pretty, decent. But man, she turned into a monster. And but I didn't get. It took me till the second year to. And people in school like, dude, like, why are you with her? Like, she treats you horribly. And I'm like, oh no, I love her. I'd even defend her. Well, eventually what happened was I got hurt really bad, and that became her job. Like, she was trying to find a way to hurt me because nothing was working, because my reticulating activating system, all I saw was, oh, I love her. But she started finding ways, and it hurt, and it hurt, and it hurt, and it hurt, and it started adding up. And then my best friend died, and she called immediately when she found out he died. She said, yeah, I'm going to break up with you. I'm like, I guess you didn't hear what happened. She goes, no, my best friend Monica just called me, and she told me that your best friend Martin just died, and that's why I'm calling right now to break up with you. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was fucking cruel, dude. And then my next girlfriend, that turned out to be an 8-year fucking just monster experience. And then I watched my buddies getting divorced, and the women were taking their houses and all this fucked up shit. And all of a sudden I was 28, 29 years old, and that's all I saw. That's all I saw, that women were just mean. So the challenge and the next level, going from happy to, oh shit, all women suck, to the next level, is to look at women for who they are in the very moment. Not the way they treated you yesterday, not the way they were last week, not for, all women are good or all women are bad, all women are angels or all women are the devil. The next level is to see people, not just women, but men, your friends, for who they are. Period. End of sentence. Are they 70% good and 30% bad? Are they 30% good and 70% bad? Like, what have they done? You have to start seeing people for who they are and what they do and how they treat you, and then make your decision from there, from seeing both the good and the bad. Now, one of the challenges that men have more so than women is we use our left brain. Now, the left brain is the either-or mentality. So now we generalize things even more. It's either A or it's all B. It can't be both. It can't be a combination. It can't be... Whereas women are open up to the right brain, which is about all the different possibilities. All the possibilities. Hundreds of millions, trillions, billions, and zillions of possibilities. They're much more likely. Now, I'm not saying they don't get caught up in the reticulating activating system, but they can pop out of it much better because they start to see things in people for who they are. They're looking at all the different personality traits and their values and beliefs, and these are possibilities. The right brain is all about the abundance of possibilities. So essentially, this is the way men look at the world. It's either A or it's B. Generally, in fact, I'm going to have my design a rectangle to draw a line down the middle, because it's just essentially two boxes. Well, it's just like this A and B thinking. It's either A or it's B, can't be both, right? So in the beginning of life, you're an A. All women are beautiful. Women are so kind and so nice. And then you get older, and next thing you know, you're like, fuck that. All women are evil. They're demons. They don't care about us, all this fucking shit. And then you start looking at women from that perspective. So this is your reticulating activating system at work. The next step is to do something the left brain does not do. And this is the challenge. It's about growth. It's about you seeing things on a higher level for the way they truly are. Not it's either A or it's all B. Nothing is all A or all B. That's a load of crapola. And you know what? You already know that. So the next level is to start seeing people for who they are. All of who they are. All the possibilities. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong. And from that perspective, then you can make a decision. Because a lot of you men have been dealing with demonic narcissists. These are evil people, whether it's a woman or a man. And what happened is you started to think, well, this is the way all women are. No, not all women. There's another dynamic where you create a dynamic that it causes people to go into the tip of the V, and it causes them to be argumentative and combative. Now, let me show you. Now, this is what you do. But you don't know you're doing it consciously. It's an unconscious process. Now watch this. Now in the next video, I'm going to explain this two-box thing right here much more in depth. Now, the reason why men argue a lot with each other is because they go into the tip of the V. Now, the tip of the V is the combat zone. It's where you're constantly fighting, and you're like, I'm right and you're wrong. It's the extreme of the A and B picture that I just showed you. It's either A or it's B, and it forces you into that way of thinking. And you can't see any other possibility from here. Now, on the other end is where you see the possibilities. So when you lock onto one thing, you will argue to death, well, this is the way it is. So here's what happens. When you engage with a woman long enough, it slowly pulls her from her open mind over into her closed mind. And now you guys are literally, this is battle positions. Like you're just arguing, disagreeing. And you're like, oh God, women, that's all they do is argue. Like, well, maybe if you didn't suck her into that tip of the V. Now, right now, you may not actually understand this. When you take my course, you're going to be like, holy shit, because humans gain rapport. We have a system in our brain that gains rapport, and we become like each other. Therefore, if you're like this, she'll be like this. So do you guys remember the angry, bitter man that I had in like the last video or the video before that? Well, he was getting interviewed by Pearly. That one lady who does, she takes the men's side and how unfair society is towards men. And she's right. There's a lot of truth to that. I'm not denying that, okay? So this dude is like, statistical analytics, when you look at the data, and he literally says the data, like he's a freaking robot. And that's the point. The data that he left out was he was an irritating fuck. And most men irritate women with that pinpoint accuracy, argumentative, either or, left or right mentality. And it's the energy alone. When you go into the tip, you concentrate your energy like a laser beam, and it irritates the shit out of women. And women are sick and fucking tired of it. So women aren't dealing with it anymore. They're walking away from men that are like this. Because they want to feel open, they want to feel good, and guess what? So do you. Why do you think you want to have sex with a woman? Because it makes you uptight and stressed? No. Because it makes you feel relaxed and so good, it feels good. And yet, so here you want the same thing that she wants, and yet you're coming at her with this analytical, uptight, stressed mentality. The data! And the way this guy sounded was so irritating. It's like, oh my God. Come on, guys. Haven't you listened to someone? Okay, let's take women. Guys, haven't you listened to a woman like, nyang, 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 nyang? How did it make you feel? It made you feel fucking like you wanted it. I'm not even going to say it. You didn't like it. It made you feel like you wanted to blow your brains out. And that's what women experience with most men. The problem is because men have been stuck in this tip of this V for literally decades. They're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean logic? What do you mean my voice? Well, logic. God, you should have heard this guy. I had a clip in the last video, and this guy had the most irritating voice, like in his whole data, the data, and he's not even British, dude. And he was talking, well, kind of talking like that. But the point being is like, the part of the data that he left out was himself and other men that talk that way, that sound that way, his face is all scrunched up. Like, nobody wants to be around that. Nobody, not even you. So the point of the message of this whole piece of what I'm talking about this guy is his reticulating activating system only saw what he wanted to see. He believed, because he's sitting there going, man, why aren't women dating me? Why are women, literally, I bet in the middle of a date at a coffee shop or at their first lunch or dinner, she probably made up an excuse that, hey, I've got a headache. And the thing is, the headache is not an excuse. She actually has a headache from data. Tell me if you listen to someone like that for 30 minutes, you wouldn't want to fucking leave. So here this guy is going, well, women just don't date me, because and he says women are making bad choices. They still make bad choices. They get their master's degrees and they're getting educated. He goes, women need to stop doing that. That's a bad choice. I'm like, a bad choice for who? For a guy who can't get a girl? It has nothing to do with you getting a girl. Even if women had no degrees and no money, they still wouldn't date you. But here's the thing. He leaves out that data because you can't see that data from the left brain. You can only see it, hear it, feel it from the right brain. So he's completely oblivious as to why women don't want to be around him and why women don't want to be around most modern men, because most modern men are stuck in their logic. And the other thing the human brain does is once we believe something, like on a core level, on a reticulating activating system, that's all it looks for. And it will ignore any other data. I guarantee if I were to try to explain this to him, even in front of a panel of 10 freaking women, he would deny it. He would be like, well, what does that have to do with anything? I go, everything. This is what attracts a woman to a man. But data pushes her away. So once we believe something, all we do is look for evidence or data to prove what we already believe. See, that's the way belief system works. Once you believe something, even if it's not fucking true, your brain will only allow yourself to see that 280ZX everywhere. In other words, you're only going to see evidence of, well, see, it's true. It's true. And this is dangerous because this can ruin your fucking life. Please don't listen to Mr. Data. And part of the data that he leaves out, so here's what we do. Our reticulating activating system causes us to only see things like all I saw was the 280ZX every fucking where. And now here's the weird thing. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of different models and years of cars when I'm going from, where I was at into San Francisco in my own hometown, but I never saw it. I only saw my car in driving past me, like other people having the same or similar car. Like all of a sudden I was hyper focused on this. And this is what I was talking about. Like it can be a curse or it can be a blessing if you learn how to use it. And that's what I teach you in my course, Crack the Female Code. We can also I also do one-on-one coaching and therapy work with men or women to help you pop out of these things that are holding you back. Because the thing is, right now, okay, like I know a lot of you guys like, no, Mike's wrong. Women are evil. And here's the thing, that is never going to support you in life, because here's the deal. Even when dealing with men, when doing, deals, buying a house, buying a car, just interacting with men, you're going to get so fucked over because you're not going to see the good men from the bad men. You're not going to go, oh shit, this guy's screwing me over. You won't be able to see it as long as you're stuck in the tip, as long as you're stuck in the reticulating activating system. Everything is going to be either or, and you're not going to see the person for who they really are, and therefore you're going to get screwed over. So until you pop out of this, you're going to get screwed over, and you're going to date the wrong women for the rest of your life, because that reticulating activating system will only allow you to see those kind of women, and therefore that's the only choice that you're going to have in relationships. That's the way the reticulating activating system works, and that's the danger of it. So you're going to have to pop out of it. And guess what? I'm an NLP trainer. That's what we do. Trust me, when you pop out of it, it's going to be like a load of weight taken off your shoulder. It's going to be a huge relief. And then you're going to be justified and go, oh, it really was my ex-wife. She really was a battle axe. So I'm not going to take that away from you. You're going to be like, wow. Because here's the thing. You before you pop out of it, and when you're in the tip of this video, you're like, but Mike, this is what I see. And here's the deal. You're not trying to convince me or the guys on the chat boards and comment sections online on social media and YouTube. You're really trying to convince yourself, but the problem is you can't see from the tip. So what I do is I open you up to the other side, and it's like a huge relief, like, holy shit, I am right. I've always been right about her. And so you do feel a huge sense of justice. And then on top of it, you start to see the difference, like, well, there's battle axes over there, but actually, these are some really good people over here. So what I'm saying is you really can begin to meet good people, good women, and you can begin to have wonderful experiences with them. The whole reason why you wanted to be with a woman in the first place. But we're going to have to get you out of the tip of that V, because that's perfection. And what happens is that perfection combined with either or mentality and then generalizing everything is what's really screwing you over, because you're trying to look at women like, well, all women are supposed to be perfect, otherwise they're all bad. Well, no one's perfect all the time. And when you can be a little bit more flexible like that, you can be a little bit more understanding. And here's the really cool thing. You don't take it as personal when she's just having a bad day and it has nothing to do with you. You start to realize, like, hey, this isn't me. She's some guy at work dumped on her and she came home, she's in a bad mood, and it's understandable. We all go through it, including women. I know, it's kind of a shocker that women actually go through stuff that we go through. It's kind of weird, huh? Like they worry about their bills and they worry about their health, and people are mean to them at work. And I don't know. I mean, I never knew that before, right? Okay, so that's it for this video. I want to mention one thing. If you want to take the next step, okay, so the first step is buy my book, Crack the Female Code. The second step is to read it. The third step is then call me, talk to me, ask me some questions. You know, maybe you didn't understand something, okay? The fourth step is to sign up for the course, the men's coaching, the one-on-one coaching, or you can come to one of our seminars. So you take the course, you learn how to do it, and then I'm at the fifth step. So the fifth step is to then go apply in the real world. Get better at it, learn how to do it, make your mistakes, learn from your mistakes, come back to me, do another session, you will figure it out. Then it'll teach you, you know, what you need, what you're not doing right with one of the techniques or two of the techniques. Then you go out and apply until you start getting the results, until you start seeing the results. And then at that point, now it's about dating women. Now it's about making love. It's about having sex. Now it's about having fun with women. All right? All right, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, go to crackthefemalecode.com or seductionpower.com and buy my book, Crack the Female Code, or get the entire package and buy all my books in the ultimate package. All right, guys. Click subscribe. Click the like button. Go ahead and make a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.